Right, just a quick video on DHCP policies. So I'm just going to get up the DHCP manager. So I'll just get that up, bring this over again, and under IPv4 I can see the policies and I can do them on server level or scope level. So if I go to scope, I've created one earlier which I'll just quickly delete to show you how I did it. So I'm just going to click on policies, new policy, and I'm going to go for Apple devices, add, and you've got loads of different things you could have. So you could do it on the fully qualified domain name. So you could just have all the servers if you wanted to in a particular range and go into a particular DNS server. That could be one possibility. You could do them on vendor class. You have to set up the vendor classes though. There's very few already defined. Or you could do them on MAC address, which is what I'm going to do. So MAC address, and I'm just making up a MAC address. But you can look up online a load of the MAC addresses for particular manufacturers, or you can use the device itself and pick, say, the first 6 digits to make sure that you've got the same one. So if you buy a bunch of iPads, you can easily just look at the value, their MAC addresses, and they should all be very similar, or at least for the first 6 digits. Okay, so I'm going to add it, and okay. And next one, I'm just going to give them a range which I want them to automatically go in. And I'm just going to continue. I could give them a different router. I could use different DNS servers. So if, for instance, you've got a firewall which you're using as your router, well, as your way out, and you've got multiple connections all with different IP addresses, you could segment the network into going into those different ports. So there's loads of different options you could do with this. Right, so there's my simple kind of one, which I've just created, just to tell the Apple devices that they're going to be kind of within that one. If it finds the MAC address, it will automatically make them on that. Right, let's do the same sort of thing in PowerShell. So I'm just going to use the add DHCP server v4 policy option. I'm going to choose the computer name, which is LBDNS, or I could have used the other one. I'm going to work it on the condition. You can either have or and I'm going to give this the name of printers. I could leave it like this and have it so that it goes just on the server level, but if I put in scope ID, it will do it without the server level. But today I'm just going to do it on that. I could use fully qualified domain name to decide, but I'm going to do it again on MAC addresses. So I'm going to use the equals, and I'm going to use a very similar one just because I'm making these up, with a wildcard at the end, and that's going to be my one. And it's because I have not put in PowerShell yet. That's me being silly. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Get rid of the scope ID. And I'm just going to center. And I'll create my DHCP policy. So if I get server v4 policy, it'll tell me what they are and what it's doing, the MAC address in this case, what its processing order is, you can change that, what the scope ID is, if it's 0000, that's server level, where it's enabled. I could set the DHCP server v4 policy. I could grab that one and go enabled false, and then when I get it, it'll suddenly be false. I can do all sorts of things. So any of those ones I could change. Obviously at the moment I can't change processing order, because if I tried to change the processing order, there is only one. Okay, that was a quick one on DHCP policy.